Hey everybody, Ben here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. I'm gonna ring some bells here. They may be a little loud. If you're sensitive to noise, you may want to turn your volume down. If it resonates, feel free to like or comment. If it doesn't, don't make it fit. Normally, after I ring the bells, there's a different tone that I hear in my ear, like when it's pretty much done making its noise. And I couldn't hear it for a very long time until later. Uh, so then I struck the bell louder, thinking it was something I was doing. This is going into signs or synchronicities, confirmations that we were always normally aware of, or how they would come in, and they're not coming in or proving something valid that we desire. This validation, this need, this proof that confirms something. It's going back to trust in general. For some reason, I'm seeing a cow's rear end and its udder, and uh, it looks like, if you're familiar with cows or udders, you would know what one looks like when it's full of milk, and that is proof that there would be milk there in that quarter. But stripping on her teat, there is nothing coming out. It is it was it's like it's proving itself, but there's no product, if we will. This really goes into I know there has been a lot of messages on like trust in self, or delayed proof or validation, or kind of like this time of silence. Maybe we used to get confirmations or signs a certain way, and they're coming in, but it doesn't prove anything. It's not feeling a certain way within ourselves. It is not validation, and a lot of times we lose hope, or uh, drive towards something we were working towards. We get down on ourselves. We get a bit defeated. We feel like, what's the point? And a lot of the times I talk about when we started something, or we wanted something, or we were going towards something, what was that initial feeling? What was that energy that was behind it? And getting back to that. Because if we're in this stage, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. It does a little bit, but we're not living it. We're not feeling it. We needed some sort of confirmation or proof or validation that it was real. And when I grabbed a hold of that teat, there was no milk there. There was nothing there. It looks like there's there. It has the potential to be there, but there was no product. There was no proof. There was no validation. Uh, which, I don't know if I said it, but what was the initial emotion? What was the drive? Where was that passion? Getting back there and reigniting that. Page of Cups reversed. Immaturity. This is where we get into this whole self doubt, creating this devaluing process. A message I did earlier really went into how much we devalue ourselves in comparison to the external. The external out there shows us what everything's supposed to be, and the easiest way I can say it is for the economy. It is driven by a status quo, if that's used properly, a status in general. Uh, you know, clothes made with the same types of material are worth 100% difference in value because someone said so. Now you put that on a person, and now you're 100% different, supposedly. How quickly we devalue ourselves. Uh, there is something that each one of us hold that is either natural or very easy for us to do, or to think, or to process, or to just do in general, that somebody else doesn't have. And that person that doesn't have that sees value in that. But how often do we see value in ourselves? We are our own worst critic often. And without that external validation or proof, who's giving that credit? Well, certainly it can't be us if we're down in the dumps, or we are devaluing ourselves or comparing ourselves to others as our own worst critic. So this is how we can really get further and further into a hole of this value, if we will, or validation or proof. It was kind of funny. Let's just look at that cow, that udder. Like I said, if you don't know cows, it won't really make sense. But when there's no milk in a quarter or the udder, it's shrunken up and shriveled up because it's not full. So with it being expanded, this is the presentation. This is it presenting itself as valuable. And I grabbed a hold of that teat, and there was no milk. There was nothing in it. This is going back to this whole comparison thing. And I started with clothes, and we put that on a person, and they look like there's value. But is there anything inside? Well, compared to that teat, there was nothing inside. It was a presentation. Uh, when we allow the external, and it's, yeah, obviously when I say the external, it is just people, places, and things out there. But it's also the presentation, how I'm dressed. If I dress a certain way, it looks like I'm something, but there's nothing in there. All they are is this. I'm not saying everybody's this way, but we perceive this as being valuable or worth something, and there was nothing inside. That was a cold stop there, a real hard stop, because it's true. It was just nothing more. That was it. Five of Cups. Disappointed. Maybe we were working towards something, or just ourselves in general, how we feel about ourselves. That comparison can really take over. And the disappointment in the, I don't even remember how this really started, working towards something and it wasn't coming through, the validation, the proof. Oh, we're disappointed. There's no validation. And like I said, if we started that and we had that energy, and that was our driving force, and we were working towards something, and that steam's running out, we needed some sort of validation or proof, which is normal, and it's not there. We start to get very disappointed, and we're losing that, like we already ran out of that driving force and everything. And then we get into that whole comparison, that I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or I'm undeserving. And when we get into that comparison, it's just like a snowball effect. But we have to remember that we all have value. And when we're comparing value, we're often comparing it in the wrong way of the external. And just like I said with that udder, it appeared that it had something. The way that somebody dressed appeared, or presented themselves, appeared that they had something, and there was nothing inside. While in return, you do have something inside. We all do. But how often do we lead with that? Or do we lead with the external appearance and treat that as value instead of what is inside? Oh, we got another card up right here. Just one, right? That must have flipped earlier. A Seven of Cups. Dreams and desires. Normally when we're working towards something, it can often seem far-fetched. It can seem out of there. And if we started and we had that good energy in the very beginning, it was believable. It was valid. It was going to happen. And now we're in this space that it didn't, or it hasn't yet. But in our mind, it didn't. We didn't have that proof, that validation. And we start to let go of it. We start to lose it. And that's where we got to get back to that beginning part to get the energy to move forward. Maybe in this standstill, there's something that we needed to heal. And getting into this place, we see where we might be lacking something. How quickly did that energy disappear from the beginning? A Ten of Wands, overcommitment. Initially, I was going to say something, but then it came through like we're still carrying something. Let go. Excuse me. Those wands, he's at the end. He's going to get somewhere, and he's going to let go of them. He's going to be done with it. When I said about that healing aspect, maybe we're in this slump, and we're in there for a reason. a little bit more reflection on why did it turn? Why did it change? Why did we have that driving force and it stopped? And now we are in this comparison aspect, or excuse me, needing the external to prove to us that this is going to work, which at times, depending on what it is, that is a valid reasoning. Like, it's logical to think this way. But what's going on here? What are these wands in our life that we're about ready to let go of? We're about ready to be done with, but what is it that we need to still put down? Excuse me, my throat is jamming up on me. Got Five of Swords reversed, reconciliation, and then we got the Seven of Swords, dishonesty. I'm not saying that this is 100% in this, but a lot of the times when I see the Seven of Swords, I think of doing something to change the odds to better our favor. Obviously, in this situation, I should say, in the original card, he's stealing the swords so they don't have their weapons. He's changing the odds of something. When we get into this bit of a slump where we were working towards something and it's not panning out the way that we wanted it or the way we projected it, no matter what it is, whether a goal or a house or a car, a relationship or a project, a business, anything, when we're working towards that and we have that driving force and then we get into the slump, like, well, I was doing everything and then it's not working anymore, we start to think that we did something. It's us. It's me. I'm doing something wrong. It's not being received well. It's not working. It's not panning out. And then we're the problem now because we're viewing ourselves as the problem because it works for other people. Why isn't it working for me? I must be doing something wrong. So I need to change something, which means we're changing ourselves to get this confirmation or this validation or this reasoning, this proof to see an outcome. We're changing the odds, and by doing so, we're changing ourselves, which isn't true. Back to reconcile. Really looking at what are we still carrying here? What may be holding us back? We can look at that as changing self, but that's more or less healing an aspect that is holding us back. I don't know if I said it, but with the Seven of Swords, but it's coming down to don't change yourself. We got Five of Wands, clashed interest, and then we got King of Cups reversed. It flipped out when I pulled the other card, which is manipulation. We can look at this as sometimes a bit of an ego-driven aspect that we have to be presented a certain way. We have to be viewed a certain way to succeed or to be whatever, a status. This is this presentation, the cow udder, the clothes that I spoke of. I need to present myself a certain way to be valued. This manipulation of the mind when we're in a place which it's no fault, but I think a lot of it is led that way in the world because it is presented that way. It is money, it is status, it is class, it is who's on my arm, what do I own that says that I am what I want to be perceived as. That udder was a nice looking udder. I mean, there wasn't poop on it. It was clean. It was presented well, but there was nothing in it. When we change, or when we're presenting ourselves this way, we don't have anything in here. And when we don't have that foundation, when we don't value ourselves in here, how do we value ourselves? Well, we got to get the external to value it. Because if we don't value it, we need some sort of validation, some sort of proof that in our mind that we have value. And if we don't have it in here, I got to do it out here, what everybody else sees. I got to behave a certain way, talk a certain way, be a part of a certain group, dress a certain way, believe in whatever. I have to put that out there for everything out there to prove to me who I think I am. If I don't have that in here. Now, if I have that in here, I don't need them to prove to me who I am. I don't need them to tell me my value because I already know it and I hold it and I am it and I emanate that. And then it just shows me that all naturally. But when I have to do it this way, the opposite way of uh, presenting myself this way to get the recognition or the proof, to go out of my way to mold myself to get there, to be what I think they want me to be or what they're going to tell me that I am. It's not here. It's not inside. It's not real. And this is really getting back to revaluing ourselves and creating that inside and allowing that to emanate out instead of doing everything in the external. It's just kind of like a closed loop. It never goes inside. It bounces off me and it goes out. If it's inside, that's where we need to get to. I'm going to leave this here. If this resonated, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will talk to y'all later.